Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council, City Manager. Um, First, I would like to say that, yeah, no one can 100% guarantee that there won't be an incident going forward. I also want to first say that I work with a bunch of men and women who are dedicated to public safety. They are diligent. They are out there pounding the pavement every night and day. And that is our first concern, is making our citizens safe here in the city. With that being said, us as a police department, when there is a problem or there is an issue, it is then our responsibility to figure out how to handle that, or put in place measures to combat that. So with the recent events, we have set forth a plan and implemented it to put it in place to see that we can affect the issues that are taking place. We've also conducted some thorough investigations to the calls that we've talked about tonight, where there were shootings or possibly fireworks in the area. I can say that out of the four incidents, that there was one incident, which is the first one, where we actually located some shells or some spent shell casings from gunfire. I have instructed the officers to not get into back and forth when they're talking to complainants. If they say it's fireworks or if they say that it's gunfire, to not get into a debate of what it is, because it's a report that's being made to us, and we take that at value. That's what it is. That's what the complainant is saying. So we've set forth a plan. We first looked at the statistics. Currently, the information that was presented to me today is that we've had this rash of incidents that's taken place over the past 45 days. Prior to that, I think the last incident concerning a weapon at Lee Street Park was about 2016. Ironically enough, the person that was involved in the incident then in 2016 was this kid, Jody Johnson, the guy that we just arrested the other day for the robberies. I thought that was very ironic. But yeah, we have just removed him from our streets over the past couple of days. Again, so that statistic showed that, this is it's just a rash problem. It may just be a rash problem that we're dealing with currently. Is not something that's happening all the time, because this is 2020 and 2021. And like I said, the police reports that came to me today was the last incident was 2016, and that's a long time of peace or tranquility that we've had here in the city. So we looked at the statistics, and the stats showed that the incidents are occurring somewhere between 5 and 7 p.m. or 5 and 8 p.m. So our plan is to put an officer on a static detail from 5:30 until 7:30. That officer will be manned at the park. That's his primary duty during that time. So we're going to stagger a shift so that an officer will come in early to take care of that detail, and he'll get off early in the morning. He'll get off an hour earlier than everybody else. While he's there, he's supposed to provide security for the park, for the basketball courts, and serve as a witness, deal with any threat or any issue that come up. That's why the officer would be stationed there. During that time between 5:30 and 7:30, the officer is going to lock the gates to the basketball court at 6 o'clock or 1800. That's the time that we use. We can also flex that time to see what would be more appropriate to make everybody feel safe. We definitely understand that perception is reality. And if our citizens are not feeling safe, then we have to address that to make them feel safe in our community. So part of the plan would be to flex the times that we close the basketball courts, that we'll lock it up anywhere between 5:30 or 4:30 or 6 o'clock at p.m. In the evening. That officer would still usher all the patrons off of the basketball court and make sure that everybody has exited the area, and then stay there for an additional hour to ensure that there's not an incident that takes place after we've closed the basketball courts. We've also asked our officers to do an hourly patrol, which means that they're going to go by the park and check the basketball court, and that's 24/7 around the clock. We have a small jurisdiction. Our city is about 3 by 2 miles or 3 by 5 miles, and we have currently staffed on each shift about 4 people, which it's it's feasible that an officer can be required to make a property check at any given location at least hourly. Our call volume is not as such that we won't be able to accommodate that. So we've looked at that as well. And that's part of our plan going forward. We've also launched a campaign to see something, say something. If you see something going on, make sure you call the police, serve as the best witness that you can be. We've implemented a tip line that we put out in our social media. We also put it out on Facebook, and we've got signs posted at the park with that phone number that people can call and share information with us, even anonymously, that we can use that information to affect these crimes or to get tips so that we can solve them. We've also implemented an Operation Safe Park. So we noticed that there's been parking around the basketball court or around the park. We've heard tonight that some of the patrons that come to the basketball court are not citizens from our city. Some of them may not observe our parking laws. So we're requiring our officers to check those vehicles that are parked improperly. That will give us an opportunity to run tags, identify people. We'll know who's in the area. Because we have not been enforcing that previously, I've asked them to first start off, trying to seek voluntary compliance when they make contact with people that are parked improperly. Ask them to move their cars and still get that information. We can check for wanted people and so forth. After about 30 days, we're asking them to start to issue traffic citations for people that are violating the law parked around the park.
But if the tag reader alarms, you would go ahead and handle it like a regular case. If
Absolutely.
Suspended license and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
Right,
So the tag reader or the LPRs that are mounted on the vehicles, that'll come back information of violations,
It would just be the parking that would be.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just the parking, we would, exercise some, look for some
Might be able to pick up some
compliance.
things driving down through there with a tag reader.
Yes, ma'am. It would. So that's Operation Park Safe. Finally, we've talked about surveillance cameras, having them placed in the area. We've been talking to vendors to find the best locations to place the cameras in our park to give us the best vantage point so that we can gather information to find out who are the perpetrators that are, perpetrating these crimes. If there is a shooter or where he's located, if there's a vehicle that's speeding off, if we can get the tags so that we can have leads to follow up on. Again, I wanted to say again that I work with stellar professionals, and these guys are pounding the pavement. We've had some critical incidents that have taken place over the last 30 days, and they have shown me just how professional and dedicated they are, giving up their time and working very hard at it, following every lead, turning over every rock, so that we can solve those crimes. And we were very successful at that over the past couple of days. So with that, we've already implemented our program to try to affect what's happening out there. And we're here to serve. So we're here to follow your lead. And that's all that I have. I'm open for any questions if anybody want to ask questions.